This week on Premier Preps, it's the final week of the basketball season, and we have highlights of the state Final Four, including Colfax's second straight championship chase at Golden One Center. We got the first look at softball this year, plus a special tribute to all the big-time bucket getters across the Sac-Joaquin Section. You are tuned in to Premier Preps. Welcome to Premier Preps. I am your host, Nick Pecoraro. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. We have a great show lined up for you today. As we enter the spring season, we are wrapping up the winter season, which means state basketball championships. Now, as we entered Fridays and Saturdays games at Golden One Center, there was only one team on the girls' side that remained from the Sac-Joaquin Section, the Colfax Falcons. A school of about 600 or so students, which typically qualifies it as a small school around the Division IV, Division V, Division VI level, but because of the continued success the Falcons have had on the court, they were bumped up to the Division II bracket for regional action. Hey, they made the state final last year, coming up just short against Los Osos of Rancho Cucamonga. So with Harvard-Westlake of the Los Angeles area, the SoCal champion, on the schedule, the Lady Falcons came into Golden One Center on Saturday with unfinished business. Colfax playing for a state title for the second straight year. Harvard-Westlake comes in tied for the most losses for a state finalist in CIF history. Here we go. First quarter, Colfax comes out with the first punch of the game. Madeline Segrist finds Laurelyn Masick for the bucket. But Harvard-Westlake responds. The Wolverines have a freshman who can go. Angelina Habis was playing like a beast on Saturday, leading all scorers with 19. And then Harvard-Westlake off of the steal. Jamie Yu goes coast to coast for the deuce, and the Wolverines lead 16-9 after one. But Colfax turns things around in the second quarter. Kaya Diedrich sparks a Falcons run with this scoop and score. And then Jade Bittner down low to Juliet James, who's averaged a double-double in these state playoffs. And then Masick off the steal. She goes all the way as Colfax takes a 4-point lead into the break. In the third, Habis with the drive and kick to Valentina Guerrero. 14 points, 13 rebounds off the bench for the sophomore. And then off the steal, Deanna Thompson gets the deflection and hustles down to earn the bucket. The Wolverines go back in front. But on the other end, Kaya Diedrich decides to pull from the top of the key. That was Colfax's only three-pointer of the game. The Falcons trail by just 2 heading to the fourth. But this is where Deanna Thompson took over. The junior gives everyone a free session for her spin class. And then with the offensive putback, 18 points for Thompson. Westlake goes up by 8, but Juliet James runs the floor and gets the bucket and one. Colfax trying to scratch and claw back, but this was the dagger. Valentina Guerrero puts it away for Harvard-Westlake. 839 career wins for head coach Melissa Herlihy. That's second all-time for girls hoops in California. A tremendous run by Colfax, but Harvard-Westlake is your D2 Girls State Champion. Well, congratulations again to the Colfax Falcons. No other team had more wins in California than the 34 the Falcons wrapped up. Head coach Rexanne Simpton and company have made Colfax a standard bearer for excellence in girls hoops here in the Sac-Joaquin Section. But a big congratulations again goes to Harvard-Westlake for bringing home the school's first state championship since 2010. Let's take a look at the rest of the state finals, shall we? In Division I, Bishop Montgomery takes down Bishop O'Dowd to win its 7th state championship, their first since winning 4 straight from 2000 to 2003. In Division III, 14th seeded Carruthers is your D3 champion. The Blue Raiders didn't even reach the Central Section semis, but they come home with the big prize, their first since 2019. To D4 now, St. Bernard's of Eureka gets win number 30 on the season, and it's a big one, bringing home the state crown in its first ever finals appearance. The Division V title was claimed by the 13th seeded Oakland Wildcats. They bring home their second state title in program history after beating top-seeded Montgomery, the D3 San Diego Section champions. No state titles at the D6 level, so the NorCal Championship was taken by Weed of the Northern Section. The Cougars reached the NorCal final a year ago and lost. This time they get to put a ring on it. And in a rematch of last year's Open final, the LA City Section Open champion Etiwanda Eagles go back-to-back on the grandest stage of them all, ending the perfect season for Archbishop Mitty, who was 30-0 entering the championship game. We'll have highlights from the boys' state Final Four later in the show. Well, what better way to kick off softball coverage here on Premier Preps than with this game right here? Oak Ridge and Capital Christian, two reigning section champions going head-to-head. Both teams only lost one senior to graduation last year, so they are coming back loaded with talent. Now, Tuesday's game was originally set to be played at Oak Ridge, but due to wet field conditions in El Dorado Hills, the game was moved to Capital Christian, where the Cougars definitely felt that home field advantage. All right, so we got the reigning D1 section champ Oak Ridge in one dugout, and we've got the reigning D4 section and NorCal champ Capital Christian in the other. Not a bad way to kick off the softball coverage this year. First inning, sophomore Maddie Woodcock gets aboard with one of her 2 hits on the day, and she would eventually come around to third base and end up scoring on a wild throw to the outfield. Woodcock scores, but a nice heads-up play from Oak Ridge catcher Brooklyn Parator to get the out at third and end the inning. But it's 1-0 Cougars as sophomore sensation Ayla Tua goes to work in the circle, one of 9 punch-outs for Tua on Tuesday. Top 3, runner on second, Kelsey Joyner tries to bring her home, a sharp liner to left, but let this be an early lesson to not run on Gia Almont. The Oak Ridge left fielder blowing some smoke off of her pistol to keep it a 1-run game. Top 4 now, Ayla Tua waits on this one and goes Oppo Taco for her first homer of the year. She had 12 last year as a freshman. No signs of a sophomore slump early for Ayla. Later on, runners on again for Tua, but this time Ellison Schroeder sets her down to get out of the jam. Still 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Jessica Zelani slaps one the other way. A tough hop allows Schroeder to score, and it's 2-1 after 5. Top 6, freshman Takia Haygood leads off with a double for her first career varsity knock, the first of many more to come. And then Alana Tua says, "I'll see your double, kid, and raise you one that'll score you from second." 3-1 Cougars. Top 7 now, 2 on, nobody out for Kelsey Joyner. It's high, it's deep, but Kaiden Walker comes out of nowhere, crashing and burning, but holding on for the catch. A run scores, but we see you out there, Kaiden. I'll tell Mrs. P to give you some extra credit for that one. But this game belonged to the Cougars, 5-1 winners. Ayla Tua with a complete game, 9 strikeout win, 2 for 4 with a homer at the plate. Ayla, what do you like more, striking people out or hitting dingers?
That one's really hard. I think I would say go in yard, because when I come around third base and I see all my teammates standing there cheering me on, it's great to know that they have my back. I'm very proud of my team. Can't wait to continue the season with them.
Well, just like the girls' state Final Four, the Sac-Joaquin Section only had one remaining boys team on the hardwood this week, the Union Mine Diamondbacks of El Dorado County. At 31-3, the D-backs featured the state's assist leader in Ethan Gines, a top 15 rebounder in Isaac Smerslicker, and a top 25 scorer in Nate Sweet. The D-backs would have to get past the 14th seeded Monterey Toreadors, who have been scorching the road that they've traveled to get to this regional final. That game happening Tuesday at Union Mine. Union Mine and Monterey for a chance to play for a state title. The D-backs have one of the best home atmospheres in the entire section, but the Toreadors have been perhaps the best road team in the state. Here we go. Union Mine getting out early as the state's assist leader, Ethan Gines, keeps this one himself, but the Doors came to play. Suhaib Ibrahim goes up high for the offensive rebound. The masked man gets the putback to go. And here's the D-backs main man, Nate Sweet, with the hoop and the harm, and the snake pit is fired up. But Monterey closes the first quarter strong. Jamar Aquino with the block. Ryan Roth with the feed to Nicholas Duque. He was the hero in the semifinals. This three pretty much in the exact same spot where he won the game at Natomas. Monterey takes a 19-13 lead after one. Second quarter, Ryan Roth takes it away and feeds it to Kayvon Collins for the lay-in. And this is not an instant replay. Roth with the steal again and another feed to Collins. He's an all-state wide receiver, so he's used to catching long passes for a score. And the Doors start to separate now. Union Mine trying to keep it close. Gines to Sweet. That's been a familiar sight for the Diamondbacks this year. But again, the Doors close the half strong as Jamar Aquino cleans up the offensive glass, and it's 44-21 Monterey at the break. Good start for Union Mine in the third as Isaac Smerslicker crashes the offensive boards for a putback, and then Nate Sweet slithering his way to the rack for two more. But Monterey kept its foot on the gas. Ryan Roth on the drive, falling down, somehow gets this hoop to go. That's the kind of night it was for the Doors, who now lead by 24 after three. Roth again, this time dishing. Julian Rodriguez-Johnson swishing, and Monterey can start to smell that Golden One Center floor. Union Mine trying to do everything in its power to keep the dream season alive as Hayden Oddie drills a three. And Nate Sweet again with the tough bucket. Nate finished with 26 on Tuesday. But this one was all Monterey as Ryan Roth puts on the exclamation point. A 74-51 victory for the Monterey Toreadors, or as they're now known, the Monterey Road Warriors. The 14 seed will play for a state championship.
We just had the Road Warrior mentality, the underdog mentality, and that's brought us here. We want road games every time, road games every time.
Well, congratulations to the Toreadors of Monterey High School. They may never want to go home again with as well as they've played on the road in this state tournament. And congratulations again to Union Mine on a bar-raising season for the Diamondbacks. Let's see who else was crowned state champions this weekend. Harvard-Westlake of Studio City goes back-to-back at the open level, defeating Salesian of the North Coast section. The Wolverines now have 5 state titles. Only 6 other programs have 5 or more. In Division I, St. John Bosco, normally known for its dominance on the football field, gets its first state basketball title in a decade, defeating San Ramon Valley. To D2, Oakland section champions, Oakland Tech, wins its first state championship after 2 previous tries, beating 7th-seeded Centennial Saturday evening. The D3 title belongs to Bishop Alemany, who takes down the top-seeded Santa Cruz Cardinals to win the school's first state crown since 2012. We just showed you how good the Monterey Toreadors have been as a 14 seed. Well, they get back on the road and finish the job at Golden One Center, defeating top-seeded Chatsworth for the school's first ever state championship. 2 teams in the state championship game for the first time in D5. The Athenian Owls of Danville take down the D2 LA City section champion, Verdugo Hills. And finally in D6, the Northern California Championship was won on Tuesday night by Cornerstone Christian. The Cornerstone girls team won the NorCal title last year, and now the boys follow suit in 2024, beating Napa Christian 84-59. Congratulations to all those competing for a state title this weekend at Golden One Center. It's been an amazing basketball season, but we've got one more hoop segment left here on Premier Preps. Well, now that basketball season is officially over, state championships have been claimed by their respective teams, I wanted to take a minute to acknowledge some individual performances as well. More specifically, here is a list of players throughout the Sac-Joaquin Section who reached the 1,000-point milestone for their careers. Some did it as juniors, some did it as sophomores, some hit 1,500, and a couple others hit 2,000. Let's see who made the list. As Pinnock says, you know what, guys? Just call me the bus driver because I'm taking you kids to school. Del Oro's lead balloons to 20 heading into the fourth. Here's the Tigers' 1,000 career point scorer, Jemiah Fontenberry. You know she's not going to let this night go by without getting some buckets. Now, it wouldn't be a Rockland party without inviting Mark Lavrinoff. Big Mark throws down a thunderous jam.
There's Sweet will rise up from three. They knocks it down. They got a smaller defender on him. He just rises up over the top.
Lauren Harris decides to pull it from the logo. Lauren Harris. It's tough to stop with range like that. This is where Kentrell Kelly absolutely takes over for Monterey Trail. The big man with the rebound and decides to go the distance. Good luck trying to stop that freight train. Money Man Ken was on one on Friday.
That's going to be rebounded by Richards. Rebound by Richards, the 6'4" senior doing work.
Here comes Chrissy Kelly off the steal. Some fancy footwork from Miss Kelly on that finish. One of the top scorers in the section in sophomore Romello Brunn. The soft touch from one corner of the floor. Did I mention he's just a sophomore?
Thompson on the drive. Thompson lays it up with the right hand.
But don't count the Falcons out. Here comes Alea Harmon, the hoop and the harm. That ignites a big Christian Brothers comeback.
Another tough shot. Daniel Kozlov gets that one to go.
Yeah, again, I don't think he does easy shots. Easy shots are not in his bag. He's going to take all the tough shots.
Now here's the moment. Ambry's just 2 points away from 1,000. Splish, splash, that one is straight cash. Benny Ambry's just a junior already with 1,000 career points. West Campus senior Leilani Edinburgh knifing her way through traffic for the tough finish. Laguna Creek's KJ Ramey says, I got something for you as well.
Cameron low in the post. Venture now with a 12-point lead.
But Maya Hodge was deep in her bag, like a grandma with a peppermint. She had a game-high 25.
Banks wants to take Jones down low. Gets inside, takes the bomb, no call. Banks able to power through that and get the bucket.
Brooklyn Nordquist doesn't accept Venmo or PayPal, just straight cash.
Glaspie shoots the three, gets it to go. That's a huge basket for Glaspie.
Haley Smith doing what she does, going hard in the paint.
2 points for Valley Christian, courtesy of Chase Clary.
Back the other way, Schwartz pulls the E-brake, the hezzy, crisscross applesauce all the way to the hoop. The Schwartz was definitely with the Patriots. The Dragons get out to a fast start, and I'll just let Kendall Hearn take this first call. Couldn't have said it better myself. And how about a little history while we're at it? With this bucket, Mafua reaches 1,000 points for her stellar varsity career, and this is where she realizes it right here. Yay! But all of a sudden, here comes Sir Marius Jones. Jones gets off to a hot start with 10 first quarter points.
Immediately, Stone Ridge gets out to the gates. Cassius Salazar with a basket.
Panthers swing it around to Jill No. Looking a lot like Yes with that shot. Brandon Gibson puts on his chef's hat and starts cooking. Stirring the pot with a step back J, and the Mustangs lead 20-14 after one. Peterson showing off the range now. The Stanford commit is such a complete player. O'Neal now on the drive. Lord have mercy and please forgive me for my spins. Here's another three from Contreras. Look out, she can get hot in a hurry. Lincoln comes out swinging in the first as Anthony Moore gets a tough bucket. Juliet James running the floor for the easy lay-in. This is where Ella Skinars takes over this game. S-K-R-Z-Y-N-I-A-R-Z Skinars. Write that name down, folks, because you'll be hearing a lot more about her before she's done. Ben Manley, more footwork, more energy, more passion. He gives the Hillman a boost. 26 to lead the Hillman.
Williams, he's got low with him, keeps it himself, takes it, makes it, and one. Mario Williams Jr.
He's got a couple of new school threes. He's trying for an old school three here, and one that would give the Mustangs the lead.
Folks, if you don't already know who Tyler Thompson is, that's your bad. The Montana commit was balling on Thursday.
Speaking of being in the bag, Mateen Rafiq. Nice little scoop layup. The left hand sneaking past the shot blocker.
Big-time players are able to close out big-time games, and Jordan Lee is a big-time player. Well, that's a lot of buckets right there. Impressive numbers all around, and especially considering some of these seniors, their freshman year was that weird COVID year where hardly any games, if any at all, were played. So impressive numbers to get to that milestone. Congratulations to all of you who made the list. And there were some players who weren't in the package that we just did not have film of, so apologies for that, but I'll give you a shout out right here. Callie Cole of Stone Ridge Christian and Lene Dunn of Sacramento High School. We saw you out there as well getting buckets, so congratulations on your marker. And big shout out again goes out to ABC Jam Productions for lending us some more footage for this package today. You can hear Matthew Bassett, Scott Tedman, Aaron Jackson, and Mario Ramos on a lot of those calls. Appreciate you guys helping us out this week. And appreciate you all for tuning in to Premier Preps. I'm Nick Pecoraro. That's going to do it for this week. Stick around with us for next week. Make sure you subscribe to this channel on YouTube so you can check out all of the previous episodes, game highlights, and much, much more. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.